Welcome back to the Spotlight, our special Halloween edition. As you can see, I don't normally dress like this all the time, so I hope you guys aren't, aren't too worried about it. All right, there you go.
Hail Caesar. Yeah.
Exactly. I was going to say, you've probably never been interviewed by Caesar before, have you?
Can't say that we have, no.
This is definitely first. But I know you guys have been around for a little while. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
My name is Wayne Miracle. I'm the co-founder of Metro Paranormal Investigations. We're established in 2006.
Okay.
I'm Chris Forsythe, the co-founder of Metro Paranormal Investigations. I started the group, and then me and Wayne took it to where it is today.
Cool.
All of us met online. We didn't know each other when we first started.
Yep. Yeah, creepy people meeting online.
Right, of course, kind of talking about ghosts.
Right. Absolutely.
Show up to that meeting.
Now we're up to 14 members. We've done numerous investigations.
Awesome. Now tell me, I went to your website and I've seen some of the work that you guys have done, and you guys have been to actually some really cool places around the state of Michigan and somewhat into Ohio and Indiana and stuff too, right?
Not too much Ohio and Indiana, but we've been lower, both peninsulas, Michigan, all over, west side, east side, south, north.
You never know where you're going to go. That's the thing. When the phone rings or the case manager comes up with an idea, it's just get in the car and go.
Right. Now, would you say the majority of the cases that you guys do get are residential or are they commercial?
Lately, it's actually been a combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah, it all depends on it. We go wherever anybody needs us, basically. Okay,
so basically, what is how do things run? Do they call you?
Yeah, what happens is the client will give us a call, and we'll do a phone interview with the client, and then we'll find out what's going on. We'll actually go sit down with the client before we schedule any investigation.
Okay.
We have a fairly lengthy interview process that we put them through. If it's a residential, we do ask some personal questions.
Separate the crazies from the normals, basically?
To some extent.
Well, we're the one chasing ghosts, so as far as crazy.
Right, yeah, I guess so.
We want to make sure that we want the people to meet us. We want them to feel comfortable with us as well as us feeling comfortable with them.
Okay.
And then Chris and I make the call on whether we're going to do an investigation or not. And we'll set up an investigation date with the client and actually bring out all the equipment and the crew. And
there's a lot of time that the initial consultation, the person just wants someone to hear their story.
Right.
And to, experience what they've been experiencing. That part of understanding really helps them out a lot.
Okay, and then once you guys decide to go with a certain client and you show up, do you kind of get blueprints and an idea of the location ahead of time, or do you just go in and then say?
Well, during the consult, we actually do baseline readings, map out the location, figure out where we're going to do our camera placements and stuff like that. So when we get there, we're ready.
And any preparation for any case it's like we compare it to invading the beaches at Normandy, because a simple residential case can take a month. Where, like I was telling you a little bit earlier, we actually did a decommissioned ore freighter, the SS Valley Camp, and we worked on that case for 2 months prior, and we're still working on that case. We've gone as far as got the technical blueprints from when the ship was actually berthed.
Okay, so it's not like, you see on the Science Fiction Channel where
they
get on the walkie-talkies and like, all right, we're going to this place. It's 5,000 miles away. You guys ready? Yeah, we're there. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I wish the evidence review process took only a few minutes like they showed too.
It is very labor intensive. There are a lot of hours that go into it that you don't see on the TV shows.
And all the other different departments, the research department, the historical departments, and everything else that comes to the final report that everybody in the unit contributes.
Well, that's cool. Now, how do you get into paranormal investigation? You throw in an old, Ghostbusters movie and say, I can do that.
I mean, it's one of those things that in order to be a good paranormal investigator, you got to have a really big curiosity of it. But there's other people that have been affected by it, like myself. When I was a young kid, I actually saw an apparition of a young boy in my home.
Okay.
And ever since then, years and years and years have gone by, and I've just been wondering why. And then luckily, I had the chance to form what we're doing now, and it's actually answering some of the questions that I had.
That's awesome. And, do you have to go in with an open mind, or do a lot of the people who are investigators really have a closed mind? Like, this doesn't make sense.
No,
ghosts aren't real. Let me show you why. Or do you have to?
It's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
When you go in, we don't just assume that there's paranormal activity happening.
Okay.
We take the story that they're telling us at face value, and it may be occurring, but we go in. Okay, let's see if we can find a common occurrence or a natural occurrence of what's taking place. There's so many things that happen just in your own home.
Right.
That a weird noise will just start up, and you don't know where it's coming from, and you might, depending on what's going on in your life, you might attribute that to paranormal activity.
Okay.
And we'll come in and we'll say, well, no, this is what's going on. This is what's happening in your home. Or you never know, we might actually capture something.
Actually trying to put a logical spin on our biggest job as investigators is to remove the fear of those people that call us.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. And if you can put a logical spin on it and say, look, this could be why this is happening, then it might, help them sleep better at night. However, have there been areas where we have captured the voice that they're here? Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
But 99.9% of the time when we go into a case, we get absolutely nothing. And we're upfront with the client about that.
Right.
It might take more than one visit out.
Okay. And you guys have been to some pretty cool places, kind of like I had mentioned before. Was it Fort Wayne?
Yep, Fort Wayne.
Historic Fort Wayne.
The Redford Theater, Locker Room Saloon.
Locker Room Saloon.
Give it up
SS
for the
Valley.
Locker Room
That place
Saloon,
gives me nightmares, and I can't even get into why. But yeah, I've been there when I was younger. That's actually a really fun place. But I've heard a lot about that place. But you guys, actually, we have some of your evidence, right? From one is residential.
One's a residential case that we investigated, and the other one is Fort Wayne.
Okay, and we have a couple audio clips. Let's roll that first audio clip. I believe this one is from one of the residential.
Yep.
All right, let's run it. All right, now it was kind of quick, so we played it twice there for you. What did you get out of that?
The story behind that is we had an investigator down in the basement. I'm not going to get too deep into the what was going on at the resident.
Okay.
We are under confidentiality.
Okay, of course.
But the investigator was downstairs. The activity that was going on is that something would make noises down in the basement. It'd run up the stairs, open the door, growl, slam the door, run downstairs. So she was nothing was going on while we were there. So her statement was, you're here terrorizing these people in this home, but you won't talk to a stupid little girl, meaning herself.
Right.
And that's the audio we captured. Was it sounds to us like somebody saying, I don't want to talk to her.
Yeah, that's creepy stuff.
And that's a good example of what they call an intelligent haunt, where someone will ask a question and then all of a sudden you'll get that response.
All right, well, we actually have another audio clip, and it's actually, this one's a little clearer of what exactly they're saying.
So.
What's the story behind this one?
There was, we were at Fort Wayne in the visitor center.
Okay.
We had 2 investigators in there, and they thought they heard what sounded like a slamming door coming from the gymnasium area. So they walk in there, and the investigator asked, are you the one who's slamming that door? Is there somebody in here with us? And the audio clip is the response.
All right, let's check it out.
He's saying, leave me alone, but we didn't.
Oh, absolutely not. We hit
So absolutely nobody else in the room?
No,
with
we
you
actually
guys?
have camera footage showing that, there's nobody else.
Well, Nick, I want you to think about just that clip for a minute, what it sounds like in the tone of the voice. If you would have heard that within the same room, around you,
So
probably wouldn't be in that room.
That was
very
actually
long.
audible at the time. It didn't just get
No,
picked
it
up
wasn't
by the equipment.
it wasn't audible.
You could hear that?
No, it was just picked up by the
Just
equipment.
picked up on the recorder, because if I would have heard something like that, I would have been out of the E-Club fast.
Right, okay, I was going to say. Now, we actually have, if that isn't enough for you guys, we have a photo that you guys really couldn't explain. Well, tell me a little bit about where this is.
This was taken in one of the sally ports of Fort Wayne. It's up in the casemate where the cannons used to be.
Okay.
There were 2 female investigators, and it was during the day. We weren't actually investigating during the time.
Okay.
We normally see it at night, so they're like, we're going to go around and sightsee a little bit, because we were down there early. And they came back and they were reviewing their photos. Now you had the person who took the photo and then the other person. So if it was a person, the other person is the only one it could be.
Right.
Well,
she would say, no, that's me.
Well, she was wearing a neon green long sleeve shirt.
Okay.
We took that photo and we ran it through the rigors. We took Joe's the investigator. We made her the very next day dressed in the same clothes. Went down to that sally port. We counted the brakes, measured everything off. There was tape on the floors.
Oh, it looked like something out of crime scene investigation. It really did.
And we took another 500 photos using the same camera of her walking back. We tried everything. Bend over, walk forward, walk backwards, lean down, stand up straight. and we couldn't reproduce that image.
Now, a lot of people say that if you look at that image, you know, obviously she was wearing a bright green shirt. We couldn't see that. Now, if you look at the image really closely, and you'll actually see the shadow, which would have been in one of the window openings or the canoport openings. Now, if you look at that post right there, I don't know if something's blocking the light. Don't you think you'd actually see a shadow?
And Joe's shadow showed up on that column every time. We actually went back the same day, same time the following year and did it all again to try to recreate
Now,
it.
on top of that, we went back, you know, there was probably thousands of pictures taken in just that area trying to recreate this. We actually had this photo sent to the Michigan State Crime Lab. And with the 98% certainty there's a mass there, but they can't figure out what it is.
Well, that's why it's paranormal investigation and not normal investigation.
Right. Yeah.
All right, well, we just got a little bit left here. How can somebody reach you, and do you guys charge a fee or anything for any of the
our services are always 100% free. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take phone calls, emails. They can reach us on the web at www.metroparanormal.org, or they can hit us up on Facebook.
Right, cool.
Our phone numbers are up there as well. So, like I said, if anybody's having problems, we're always glad to hear from them.
We're here to help.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you guys joining us. I know October's probably your busy season here.
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea.
Taking some time out to be on the spotlight is very much appreciated. Thanks a lot,
thanks
guys.
for having us.
Here, Nick, man.
All right, and coming up in a little bit here, Becca's going to give us the word, and we have a special going surfing, and you're not going to want to miss the performance by Detroit Voodoo Child. So stick around.